Most important things for defensive zone coverage is effort and battle determination level. So this clip is not in defensive zone, but we're going to see two Canucks players working really, really hard to get the puck back. Really good puck pursuit, stick on puck. Second guy jumps in because there's a battle, so that's the second quick. Get the puck, take a quick shot, bust through, and will not be denied going after it again. Just one more time, full speed. We can see the work ethic here required to win battles in the NHL, and this is something that we want to bring to all areas of the game, including the defensive zone when we're trying to steal pucks off the opponent. Here, we're looking at really good job being on the defensive side. So he's closing the gap because he's facing the wall and he can't make a play right here, so he gets on him right away, attacks, and then right away, once he loses that positioning, he's going to jump back between that player and the net and be on the defensive side. And then he's just looking to see where the pressure is coming from the back, ties up a stick really well, stays on the defensive side of that player, blocks a shot, and then finds another player and gets in between him and the net. And another example, just boxing out, being on the defensive side between the net and the player and making sure the goalie can see that shot in front. Here is an example of the Canucks where they're not on the defensive side. So if I back that up just a little bit here, there's a battle that's about to ensue on the wall right here, and this Canucks player is on the defensive side. This guy's going in to make some contact, but unfortunately the second guy in just waves his stick at it and goes right past and loses his defensive side position, and we can see what happens here. 2-on-1, boom, buried in the net. And if we back that up again, they actually do a really good job, these two guys, of stopping and starting and coming back to attack, but it's just a little bit too late because Vegas jumps in so quick and capitalizes and makes a nice play for a goal. Here, we're looking at defensive positioning with 5 guys. So right away, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's our center, D, and wing. And this looks kind of like a 5 of dice, right? If you see a dice with a number 5 on it, there's a little dot in the middle and then the 4 on the outside. And that's roughly what we're trying to do with our overload. As soon as there's pressure here, the second guy is coming in really quick to help. That guy jumps in on their team for the battle as well, which is important for winning battles on the offensive side and the defensive side. And then all 5 players are in a pretty small space, so it's tough for St. Louis to make a play through this area now. I don't want us coming back this far with wingers and quite that deep with the winger as well. We can stay just a little bit further up the ice here, like we see in the PowerPoint presentation. Then that puck moves to the other side, and almost all the time we're going to chase in front of the net. Because that puck is loose, he can go after it behind the net, but we don't want to chase players behind the net. We want to go in front and come to the other side with the D and the centerman, as we can see coming through here. The wingers are switching to the opposite side and backing that up just slightly. We can see he should be a little bit lower on the defensive side of this player, but this winger's coming out to this position here, and it's kind of like that dice moves across the screen to the far side. This is the house. This is what I was talking about in the other clip as the most important area to protect. Almost all goals in hockey come from here. And then you have kind of the inner slot or the low slot, and then the high slot a little bit further up here as well. So when we say house, this is what we're referring to as coaches. Some coaches call it home plate, but this is the area that we're trying to defend more than anything else, because if they get scoring chances from here, that's a big problem. So here is a really good example of a collapse. What we can see again is kind of that 5 of dice, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 in the middle. And it's 5 versus 3, but they managed to score. And if we look at this one closely again, I'm just going to back up one more time. The Canucks players are actually in pretty good position here. The only problem is nobody takes this guy. He does a good job in front of being tied up with this guy and then pushing off and just creating a little bit of space while he's looking the other way, just enough to get a shot. But 5 guys in the right area, if nobody takes the biggest threat, he has a chance to score, and it's a nice little one-timer. So all that needs to happen right there is this guy needs to stay with him instead of kind of getting a little bit puck watching, or one of the other guys needs to come down and cover that guy while he goes to attack this player if he's going to beat that defenseman out. And then finally, we're just looking at defensive zone coverage off of a face-off. So here, the Bruins win the face-off. They've got center on the Leafs, D, and then wing and wing. And if we look at this in slow motion, what we can see is the wingers are coming straight up and out in the shot lane, 1 and 2, to put pressure on those D to make it harder for them to make a play. The center is tying up with his center. The D from this side is staying with that player who's coming across the ice, and then this D is finding the open guy here and trying to stay with him. And they're doing a really good job. Defensive side in the shot lane for these two guys, defensive side, and defensive side between the player and the net. Good job coming back for sticks. Then they get a little breakout, and if we watch this one more time from this angle, we can see a lot of the details again. Centerman stays with his guy. This defense stays with that guy. This defense has to pick up the other guy who's over here. Usually I'm going to have our guys right here for a face-off and then be right ready to cover that guy nice and fast. And then we can see the wingers coming up right in that shot lane. One of the Maple Leafs guys falls down, so there's a little bit of open space for this player, but the guy does a good job getting back to his feet, getting a stick on it, and making sure that that guy can't get any chance on net when the goalie's down and out.